Alec, we'll start it off with you.
Yeah, Coach, you talked after the game on against Washington State just about you guys tensed up in the fourth quarter and were pressing too much. Did you have any other takeaways now that you've had a chance to kind of sit with the game for a few days?
Yeah, they just had momentum going into half. I looked at, I've watched the game a couple of times. I think, we had so many opportunities, but it came down to not making free throws, because we make the free throws, we seal the game. Kate makes her two free throws, the game's over, even if they scored a three. I mean, there's 7 seconds, and then I think Ari makes her free throws earlier. We kind of seal the game. So I think it didn't come down to the last shot, obviously, but I thought that we just really let them have momentum in the second half. And we never kind of stopped the bleeding. I felt like we didn't run offense, we didn't execute, we got really tight, and stuff we don't normally do. So, in my opinion, they played a really good game and they took it from us. But we we have to learn how to maintain a lead and sustain someone's runs.
And road games and road trips are usually much tougher than playing at home. But just through the three road games that you guys have had, what have you been able to learn about your team, about the way they play on the road, and maybe improvements that you want to see in the next trip that you guys have?
Yeah, so we play well on the road. If you watch the first half, it's one of the best games we played. Like, our first half was amazing. I thought it was very good basketball. The second half happened and it was worse. But we've had some really good road wins. Winning at Colorado and Utah was huge for our program, first time ever. So I think that's a big win. A lot of teams are going to lose on the road at Utah and on the road at Colorado, and a lot of teams are going to lose at Washington State. They're very underrated. I mean, they deserve to be in the top 25, and I think they're going to beat a lot of people. So I think that they had just hadn't been good for so long. I think they've surprised a lot of people, but they're talented. I think for us, I'm proud of the fact that we've won in different ways. We went to the mountains, tough. Colorado, Utah won. Very, very difficult to win. They're very difficult to get a sweep. It does not happen a lot. We've won at home, coming back from deficit. So we've won in different ways. And I think that the Washington State was probably a good learning lesson, because you cannot play good one half and then kind of relax and let a team do whatever they want. Stop playing doing the defense we do, and stop sticking to those things and think you're going to win. And then if you can't make free throws and you can't do the basics, like, you don't deserve to win. So I think that was a game that um, should be a reality check, just like the Stanford was. So two learning lessons, and it should make us better. We better get better real fast because we play a really good team tomorrow.
And then, does Washington State kind of remind you of you guys from a year ago or 2 years ago? Kind of a program that is right and on the rise and kind of underrated.
Yeah, I think, but I think the difference with them is they're really balanced. So they don't have like one All American. They don't have one All Conference player. I think they have a really good, like, people that play their roles really well. I think Legger Walker, I mean, she should be freshman of the year. But I think that they have a very balanced team. Like, her sister Crystal is a really solid point guard. Bella does her job inside, much improved. They have shooters. So I think that they're just a good balanced team. And I think they are. I think Cami does a really good job. I think they're an up and coming program for sure. And I think they're going to surprise a lot of people, because I don't know. You guys probably know what they were chosen to finish. I thought like seventh or eighth, maybe
Last.
ninth.
Last.
Oh, they were chosen to finish last.
Yes.
Oh well, so that's even worse. And I didn't realize that. I thought Washington. Okay, so chosen to finish last. So that means that everybody was wrong, because they're definitely not going to finish last. They will probably finish, I would say, at least, like, they're not going to finish last. I'll tell you that.
PJ?
Sure. Hi, Adia. So let's turn our focus to Oregon. This game's on ESPN, and it's a big game for a lot of reasons. Could you, first of all, why do you think it's such a big game? Why do you think it's so important for you guys to be on ESPN?
Well, the first thing, it's a big game because it's 10 versus 11. So that's already a big matchup, ESPN or not. I think ESPN, just because it's a game they've chosen to highlight, and it's a game that should be nationally a really good game. So hopefully it's a better performance than the Stanford game. So I think that it should be a good game. We both have fun styles. We're different, but it should be interesting. matchups. I think they're younger, but they have a lot of talent. They really spread the floor well. So I think just the style of play. I think it's a game that obviously people want to see. I think it's good for women's basketball. So I think that being on ESPN is an honor, and it's just people. It gives you more national recognition. So people from all over the country can watch Erie play for the first time, can watch Lauren, can watch Kate, Trinity. So I think it gives you national recognition, and it puts your program on the map. So it's great for Arizona women's basketball and the University of Arizona when they're talking about it and on the national stage. So it's just important for those reasons.
And do you think it's sort of, I know last year you would have played, if they had an NCAA tournament, you would have been on national TV, you would have been on ESPN. But do you think that this now is coming sort of maybe at the right time for your program? Do you wish you would have been on earlier? What do you think about that?
No,
Do
I
you
think
care?
no, I don't care because it's just kind of like for me, it's not the same whether it's Pac-12. It's a little bit obviously better for the program if it's on ESPN just because of national recognition. But I think that it's just the timing doesn't matter because for us we're a good program. So I think that you see what your team is made of because it's going to be similar to a tournament to big games. So how are people going to perform when the lights are on? And that's hard. I think that's when stars are made. That's when the big shots are supposed to happen. That's when you have to come to play. So I think for us, it's another measurement of where we're at and like what we need to work on, what we need to do.
And for a program that, you've been in this big turnaround, you're kind of an emerging team, right? This year you've been ranked every week of the season. You've been ranked, for a million weeks going back to last year. But as an emerging team like that, is it a little bit more? Is it a little bit more important? Or again, does it really adjust for maybe for people seeing the Erie McDonald's and your other players? That's really finally that this can happen now.
Wait, say the question again, PJ. Sorry, it's long.
So yeah. So, as an emerging team you're going through this whole turnaround,
Yeah.
Does this make an ESPN game a little more important? And is it more just because people can then see Arie McDonald, one of the best players in the country, and your other players who are really good players, nationally, people can finally see them?
Yes, so I think that it's because whether it's ESPN or not, I really don't get caught up in that stuff because it's just another game. Like as for the players, it's another game. I think from my perspective, which I don't talk to my team about, it is very good because Aries on the Naismith, All America. It's a great opportunity for her to get more visibility, and it's great for the program. It's great for Kate Reese. Most people haven't seen her. They're not watching the Pac-12 on the East Coast at 10 o'clock at night. So for them to see her on a national network is very important for the program and for our players. So the timing, it's like you can't worry about when or where the timing is. It's just a blessing to be on. So I think it's a great opportunity to leave your legacy, basically. So for us, we're an up and coming program. We're just evolving. We're not there yet. We haven't arrived. We're getting better. So for us to perform well here is another reason for people to talk about the program as we're coming there. Like Oregon's been there, done that. They did it last year with Sabrina a few times. And this is our first opportunity. So it's a great opportunity. So I am hoping and challenging our team to step up to the plate and like it's a game. But I don't treat it like it's any other game. I mean, like it's any different from any other game. So it's just another game. We're gonna do the same thing. I think the hard thing for me is that in a typical year, this game would have sold out. In a typical year, that Stanford game would have sold out. Like I know that UCLA would have sold out. So I'm sad about that because with us and having that the heightened of the big game and having 15,000 people, it's like you get energized so much, and then it creates a really tough environment to play in. So unfortunately, that's not the case. But then everybody's dealing with that. But I'm just sad for like the Trinities or the area here last year that can't experience that as for your last year. We did it in the NIT, we sold out, but in the regular season game on ESPN, sell out. I think that's an amazing environment that I'm just Trinity's never seen an Arizona crowd. she's never felt what it's like to play in front of 10,000 people. So, that's unfortunate. But it is what it is. We're blessed to be playing. We have an opportunity, so let's make the best out of it and bounce back.
Go ahead, Kim. Kim, are you there?
You're
Okay, let's go Ryan. We'll come back to Kim.
Yeah, so after the Washington State game, you're talking about the need to find, that third or fourth score. What do you think you can do to help Sam? I mean, if you look at her numbers, they're really down this year from a points perspective, from a shooting percentage perspective. What do you think you can do to help her kind of get back on track?
Let me just continue to give her confidence. We're doing individual skills to work on our, shooting and confidence. I think that, I love the way she was really confident to take those shots against Stanford. I think that she has the green light to take those shots anytime. So just, reminding her, hey, because I honestly don't care if Sam goes 0 for 10. I still want her to take that 11 to 15 shot. So and Sam's not going to she's not going to ever be 0 for 10. She'll never take 10 shots if she's 0 for. But for her, I want her to do that. So if Sam's 0 for 5, I will keep getting her the ball. I want her to take the next 5 because then she'll probably be 5 for 5 and be 5 for 10. So for me, it's just giving her the green light. She has the green light here. She's earned that. She plays her heart out on defense. So there isn't, even if Sam were to take, there maybe at the most she takes 1 bad shot. Sam has earned the right to take some bad shots because of everything else she does. She's constant on defense. She always guards one of the opponent's best players. So I just encourage Sam to stay aggressive and to not pass up shots because it hurts our team. She's one of our best shooters. Without Sam and Helena hitting shots, everybody's inside and it's hard for us to play. It's hard to run offense. So
and then, yeah. Oh, well, I was also going to ask you about Helena then. If you look at her percentages, she is the best shooter on the team. And what do you have to do to get her more looks?
I don't have to do anything. She's got to come ready to play. So she's got to be able to come in and be ready to play and not, hold on. She's got to come in ready to play and take the shots when she's open. But she's not only a shooter, she's a great basketball player. So she's got to come in aggressive and be ready from the bench. And I think that's been the challenge because there's some games where she's not ready, and she was not ready against Washington State. You can't come in and make mistakes off the bat and make some big defensive mistakes initially. So she has to be able to do that, and that's a focus thing, and she's capable. But our challenge has been trying to find that 6th, 7th, 8th person that's consistent. And, that's been hard. And I think it's also been a challenge for Ari. Every time Ari has the ball, everybody's inside and they're guarding her. So we have to have the confidence to make plays and not only look to give Ari the ball back. And that's something that, we do it consistently in practice. We have to be able to do that in the game.
It seemed like last game, especially, it looked like there were some opportunities for players to take a 3 and they didn't want to do it. Like there was a one where Kate was coming off a pick and pop and it looked like she was open for 3 and she didn't take the shot. Is that, I know you talk about not wanting to shoot 3s, but how do you kind of find the balance between not taking too many 3s, but also making sure that when you do have them, you're taking them?
Well, yeah, so that's a balance because if you're shooting 20%, you haven't earned the right to take a 3 off of a reversal. So, and if you're not in the gym every day working on your shot, so that's not what we're going to do. If you have now an open shot off reversal, off ball movement, and you're open, you can take that shot. But if you think you're going to come in against Stanford and after one pass take a 3 when you are shooting 20% or less, you haven't earned that shot. So that's not the shot I want. I would rather you reverse the ball and get the ball to Sam, who's a better shooter, or get the ball to Helena, who's a better shooter. And that's knowing your role. And I think that, so as a coach, you have to have a balance of still giving confidence, but also people need to know their role. If you're not a 3-point shooter and you can't make 3s, then you're not expected to come in tomorrow on ESPN and start thinking you're a 3-point shooter and then you don't work on your 3s. That's not how it's going to be in the program. So it goes twofold. You work on it, you do it consistently in practice, then you've earned the right. Like Trinity, her numbers are down. She has earned the right. She works every day on it and she's a good 3-point shooter. Her numbers are down. I'm confident those are going to go up because she has put in the work. So she has the freedom to take that shot. Kate has worked on her shot. That doesn't mean we take a really fast one because then we're not organized on transition defense. But after a reversal pick and pop, that is a shot that Kate has earned the right to take. So I think it's just knowing your role and the personnel and who, because when we're a really good team, let's say it's me, Sam, like let's say two other players. We know Sam is one of our best 3-point shooters. It is my job as a player. If I know I'm not a great 3-point shooter, I should pass the extra pass to Sam. Like that's what good teams do. And that's what we're learning and we're doing a better job of. If Helena's on the floor, we know she's coming off a stagger. Let's look for her. That's not the time we drive it. So I think that becoming a smarter team in that sense, and it's stuff we work on every day. So in pressure situations, recognizing that. Or like Sam's just hit 2 threes. Well, do your hardest, like do the best effort to getting her that next one because she's hot. Like that's where we're not there yet, and we're working on that. But learning that, Aries just got into lane 4 times in a row. Let's set her a great screen to be able to do that. So we're evolving to that, and when you see us start to do that, you will see us go to the next level, and you'll see us be at that top 5 team or beat the best teams in the country.
And the last question I have is just you're scheduled to play Oregon State this weekend. They haven't played in like a month. I'm just curious what that's like scouting them and how you think that might affect them. I mean, I can't imagine that not playing after a month and then playing a team like because they're not playing ASU, so playing a team like yours, that's probably not ideal.
Yeah, but it's not ideal for us. They've been sitting there practicing for a month. So they've had a whole new non-conference. I mean, they've had a whole preseason. So I wish if we had a month of practice right now, we'd be so much better in a month. If we just were able to not play games and practice for a month and work on things, we'd be better. So it's twofold. For them, it's probably hard because they haven't had that game prep. They haven't like played in games in a while, so challenge. But for us, it's hard because they've probably improved on a lot of things and been able to scout and focus on, us for like a week or so. And we're focused on Oregon right now, then Oregon State. So it's a tougher weekend for us. But I think so both. I think it's going to be interesting, and hopefully they do come to play. They're planning on coming to play now, but they've been. I don't think they played since December 19th. I think that's what my film said. So, yeah, harder to scout because, like, in plus, if they had injuries, then those people are probably all healed up by now. It's been a month, so it's a challenge.
Troy?
So last year, you guys came close to knocking off Oregon at home. I think you guys lost the game by 7 or 8 points. They lost a lot from that team last season, but here they are in the top 10 again. What kind of similarities do you see between last year's Oregon team and this year's Oregon team?
They're really, they're a really good team last year. They lost 3 top 10 picks in the WNBA, but in All-Americans and 8th Player of the Year. But I think in some ways they're a better team this year. They have more depth. They have more balance. They're not relying on one person. So I think that they're young, but I think they're really good. Different because Sabrina was really hard to guard, but they have like a lot of shooters. I mean, multiple players shooting over 40%. Like their leading scorer is 13 points a game, like a little over 12. So it's like 12, 11, like there's balance. And those kind of teams are hard to guard. I think although they're different and younger, they're very good. So, they definitely deserve to be in the top 10, and it's going to be a tough game.
And then, we've talked about the game being on ESPN all week long, first game ever for Arizona on ESPN.
It's not
or isn't it for Arizona women's basketball on ESPN?
No, we played when I was in college on ESPN.
Okay. I apologize about that.
I think we said that before, but I think we played 2 times. I think we played UConn on ESPN. Adam, you know that for sure.
Yeah, we played on NCAA tournament games back in the day, but this is, to our knowledge, this is the first regular season game.
Yeah, I think it is for sure. Okay, so it is. You're basically right.
Oh, no problem. So how do you balance that being on a channel like that and not getting the locker room overhyped, just acting like another game? Is there a way to do that, or?
No, because they all know we're on ESPN, and they know. But I think you just treat it like another game. I think it's gonna feel the same as any other game because of the environment. So yes, there will be ESPN crew there, but it's not like they're kind of isolated right now. So it's gonna feel like the exact same. I think how it'd feel different is if we had our crowd and there was 15,000 people. I think that would have felt really. It would have been like a bigger production. I think now it's gonna feel the same because it's like no one's really in the arena. There may be like 2 more crew people, which they would notice anyways. So I think the pressure in that sense is going to be the same. You just treat it like any other game. That's why you can't get too high or too low. You just have to be really consistent and treat everybody the same, because it's really just another game.
Thank you, Coach.
Justin?
You talked about Oregon and, losing the 3 top 10 picks and, kind of losing that star power, and you alluded to the balance. But when you look at them as a collective group and when you scout them, is there an identity that kind of sticks out to you when you look at that team?
Yeah, they're really good shooters. So they have, every time they're on the floor, they have 4 great shooters on the floor. So they Pow Pow, I've known her from San Diego. She actually went to Kelsey Plum's high school. She's a really good point guard, and she runs the team really well. And she's a freshman, but I think that she's a great shooter, scorer. I mean, as a freshman, she's playing phenomenally. But then they have like 5 McDonald's All-Americans, all the best. They're all Gatorade State Players of the Year, so they're all really good recruits. They're just younger, but they all can shoot the ball. So they constantly have shooters. And then Satu's sister is talented. So I think that they have a balance. Definitely, I think our pressure can bother them, but I think that their shooting will bother us because it spreads the floor. So I think that it's going to be a good game. I think we're going to play against a lot of zone, and possibly some different like zone presses. So we just have to be prepared for that. I think they'll try to slow Aerie down by doing that. But I think for us, we got to be able to shoot the ball a little bit to loosen them up, to allow Aerie to drive and be just really good in transition and on defense. But the 2 main things we have to guard is middle on balls and wing on balls. If we can't do that, it's going to be a really long night.
Thank you.
PJ?
Yeah, a little switch here. I know that you guys have started wearing those chips to contact trace and stuff like that, and we haven't talked about it. Can you walk us through, like, is it sewed into the uniform? Is it part of is it a bracelet? What does it look like, and how does it work, and what are the extra things that you guys have to do with it, or nothing,
Yeah, so basically we get to the arena, and right before practice, it'll be like in this little tray and these chips. It has a little, like a light on it. So the light goes green, yellow, red, right? And so as coaches, we usually put it on this little watch. So it looks like an iPhone thing, but it's like a little bracelet, and you stick the chip in there. So we'll wear it on our watch, or some will wear it like in their sock. And then for the players, they put it in their sports bra, or they put it in their sock. And during the games, it's in their band. It's like sewn into their band. It's a little slit in there they could put. But it basically, if me and you are right next to each other, a foot or 2 away, it's going to be blinking red. So then we know to get more distance. And if we go a few, like 6 feet away, it goes green. So it's able to collect the data, but that's basically what it is. I think at some point, if you're around someone too long, I think it makes a noise. But you just kind of, it makes you more aware. When it's red, you're like, oh, you step back, because you don't realize how close you are to people all the time. And so it's just different. On the road, we have it. On the planes, we have it. During meals, we have it. So it's just, it's a different world.
And so when it's sewed into their shorts like that in their band, then when they're playing, they don't even notice, probably, right? Because they're on top of everybody when they're playing, and it would be red all the time.
They don't notice a lot. I don't know why I put on mute. But it's funny because if you trace, like if you're not guarding that position, it's usually not that bad. But if you're like next to a post, let's say 2 posts are guarding each other, then in a game it might be like 20-something minutes. But if it's a guard, that's why it's good, the contact tracing, so it won't wipe out both teams. So it's pretty interesting data. Like sometimes I look at the data like, wow, I was around her way too long. Just because it's natural to kind of go stand near someone and talk. So yeah, it makes you aware, but it's good. It's helping us. And we've been pretty good. We've been successful not having any problems.
And do you only wear that for games, or do you get it every morning, or how does it?
So we get it every practice, only when we're together as a team. So when we travel, it's all the time. But when we practice, it's just at practice, and we give it back after.
Ryan?
Oh, I have a question from Kim. She just wanted to know what's the challenge of defending Oregon's bigs. Obviously, everyone talks about their shooting, but Sabali in particular has been really good this season.
Yeah, so she's a lot of like middle on balls or wing on balls she rolls. I think she's got a really good high post shot. So a lot of times she'll pick to the high post, like the elbow area, and then she'll hit shots, or she can drive right or left. So I think just guarding her inside, we have to build guard her. She's really good. But I think, I think in the past it was different, like guarding Ruthie. Like Ruthie was like 20 and 20. It's like, Sabali's a little younger. She's really talented. But I'm hoping we can guard her, match up with her one-on-one. But she's gonna be a challenge. But the thing is like, that's what it takes to be good. So you have to be able to match up with players like this and do this stuff and be successful if you want to be a great team. So the challenge for us is to see how we respond to it, see how we respond after our loss at Washington State, and see how we can match up and defend and be disciplined in our action. And that's going to kind of tell us where we're at. And I'd rather have these tests in January, because then we can work on things and get better in, February, March, April. But it's a test to kind of evaluate stuff, I think, for both teams.
Anybody have anything else? All right, thank you.
I think as far as bigs, wait, hold on, Adam. I don't think they
Yeah,
have
go
as
ahead.
much depth as they had in the past. So I think when Sabali's out, like they go to Giomi, they don't have a tremendous amount of depth at that position. Now on the perimeter, I feel, and some of their players are really versatile. But I think as far as like inside, pound the ball inside, I think Sabali's that, so she can't get in foul trouble. Because I think they're much different when she's out of the game. So, and I think you kind of saw that against UCLA. So I think that if anywhere they have depth as a team, they play 12 players, but I think that's the position they don't have a tremendous amount of depth. And when Sedona's out, now if Sedona is in, a totally different thing. And I'm sure she'll be back for our game. That's just kind of how it goes.
Yeah. What do you see from her? Like what's she good at?
She's 6'7". She's got a beautiful fadeaway jumper inside that you can't guard. You can't guard a 6'7" fadeaway jumper. Just alters shots inside, brings some more experience, a very talented player. And actually, she used to be teammates with Kate Reese and when they played AAU. So they have a relationship there, both from Texas. So it should be good. But I don't know if she's playing or not. I'm assuming she is. We'll anticipate that she is.
All right, thank you, Coach.
Thanks, guys. Have a good day.
Thanks.